Hello, 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 my friends. Hey, Jim Urban here. I want to talk to you about something that's really important, I think, for those of you that might be thinking in 2022 about either owning an investment property like a rental residential home, or possibly even a rental vacation home. I want to talk to you about those two things for just a few minutes. I'm going to try to hit all the highlights because I've had some experience with this, especially with the rental property, not so much the vacation homes, but I have parents and friends and coworkers that have invested in vacation homes, and I've got some pretty good experience with that as well. So let me talk about owning vacation homes. Now, it's a lot different than when my parents bought vacation homes. My parents owned a vacation home in Keystone and in Dillon, and then in Naples, Florida, they even owned a vacation home. And when they owned vacation homes, their idea was, yeah, to see it go up in value, but not to rent it out like we do today. Companies like Airbnb, for example, like it's a pretty cool thing to have that because you can actually offset your expenses and maybe even more than offsetting your expenses if you really go to town on this. Now, let me give you the difference between owning a rental property where you rent it out continually, month to month, or maybe even year by year. You get a certain rent every month. And with a vacation home, it's going to be a little more work to get that mortgage paid, because if you're trying to rent it out a few days at a time or a week at a time, maybe a month at a time at the very, very most, then you have to go to work because you have to keep re-renting it. You have to have the right people to go back in and clean it after they leave. You're almost running more like a mini hotel service, so to speak, by owning rental property. But it's great because with things like Airbnb, you can actually handle that and take it. I've actually been on the other side of it where I've traveled just recently, in fact, this year in 2021, to needing a property for an event that I was at in California, and I rented an Airbnb, a house with three other people. And it was really cool because then we could split the costs. And by the time we split the costs between the four of us, it was actually cheaper than staying at a hotel. Plus, we were in this really cool house amongst the trees. We had views and we had our own kitchen, and we could make breakfast in the morning. We could do all kinds of fun stuff. We even had a hot tub. So there's things like that to talk about that get me excited about owning a vacation home and using Airbnb as a tool for you to actually have your mortgage paid. Now, somebody told me once how to own, or gave a speech one time about how to own a vacation home for free, meaning having a mortgage on a property and never having to pay the mortgage. Wouldn't that be great, right? You could do the same thing with rental property. Now, I remember taking a negative cash flow at one time when I refinanced from a 30-year mortgage on a rental residential property to a 15-year mortgage. And I actually was paying a negative cash flow every month, but I was paying down the mortgage like crazy. And now all of those 15-year mortgages that I have on my rental properties are almost paid off. Whereas I would have had to wait another 15 years to get those mortgages paid off. So there's another tip for you regarding owning rental property and not necessarily sticking with a 30-year mortgage. So another key thing that I want to mention to you is having a list of key repairmen, handymen, plumbers, electricians, furnace people, and cleaning people. Now, if you're going to do something here in the Denver area or in the foothills, I've got the Denver 5-star referral center.com that has all my references on it. So you don't even need to worry. I've got all of those people that you can hire to help you keep your property maintained and cleaned in good condition. And believe me, I've used them myself on my own properties, and you got to have the right people. So what you want to do is make it a long-term investment. You want to catch the big waves of price increases that happen. And by golly, over the last 3 years, we've gone through some really big price increases. And owning not just one home, but in my case, owning 4 homes quadruples my increased values of residential real estate by waiting and being patient for that wave. Because I actually almost sold one of my properties around 2010. And I'm so glad that I didn't sell the home, and I kept it and I stuck it out. And I said, I'm just going to wait for the next big wave of real estate. And in 2016, everything started blowing open. And by the time 2020 came upon us with COVID and everything, and prices started going skyrocketing because everybody wanted to move, and they wanted to move where they wanted to move to because they were able to work remotely. And it gave everybody an opportunity to see the inventory go way down and the prices to go way up. And by quadrupling my money by owning that property that I didn't sell, I've made a couple of $100,000 extra more because that property didn't sell and I kept it and I stuck it out. So I'm giving this information to you to inspire you, because the times are different, my friend. The times are different from when my parents owned vacation homes. And by the way, even when they own a rental property, the times have changed. It's an exciting time for real estate. It's so fun to talk about because it's such a good investment. And I remember in 2008, when people said it's never going to be good again, it's never going to be good to own real estate again. And by golly, they were wrong once again. And patience always prevails, because there's always a 7 to 10 year cycle of real estate. It's always going to be that way. It's never going to change. If you have questions about this, about if inspired you in any way for 2022, the new year that's coming up, I want to wish you a happy new year and a Merry Christmas is coming up, and other holidays that are upon us right now. You have a wonderful day. I hope this inspired you in some way. Talk to you later. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.